How much are you driven by your unconscious patterns and conditioned responses? Chances are that you've picked up many unwanted patterns from the past, which unfortunately are still alive in you today. After all, surely if you were consciously choosing your responses and reactions, you'd choose to be happy, joyful, alive, and fulfilled. So it's time to do an audit on your thoughts and discover how your brain is firing. So first, the good news. You do have the ability to change the software in your brain to literally change the way you think. And you think in 6 different ways. So you see pictures in your head. So go ahead and maybe picture what your partner or your best friend looks like. You hear sounds. Can you hear the sound of your friend's voice? Do you have a favorite perfume, or can you imagine the smell of freshly baked bread or brewing coffee? I love the taste of my mother's lemon meringue pie. What's your favorite food? Can you remember how it tastes? Now, we also have feelings, so maybe bring to mind the last time you felt ecstatic. And here's an important one. You talk to yourself inside your head. The question is, what are you saying to yourself inside your head? Now, your mental pictures, sounds, and feelings all have certain qualities. So, for example, your pictures have brightness and colour. Your sounds have maybe rhythm and tone. And your feelings may have a certain texture or temperature. So let's do an experiment. Bring to mind a food or drink that you really dislike. Now, for me, that would be Brussels sprouts. So whatever food or drink that you dislike, just think about it and notice where the image of that food or drink is located in your mind. Do you have a picture? Is it near or far? Is the picture black and white or colour? Now, wipe the slate clean and now think of a food or drink that you really love. And for me, that would be white chocolate. Now, just think about the food or drink that you really like and notice where the image of that food or drink is located in your mind. Do you have a picture? Again, is it near or far? Is the picture black and white or colour? Are you in the picture? Open your eyes if they were closed. Now, chances are that the food or drink that you really love, I suspect the location was really close to you. It's as if you could really taste or smell it. It's right in front of you. While the food or drink that you dislike, for most people, is going to be located further away. Now, it's through these qualities that you actually structure your experiences and how you code your experiences. It's so you know the difference between something that you like and something that you don't like, or even someone that you like and someone that you don't like. So that's how we think and structure our experiences. And of course, you can change the structure of your experiences, which then changes the meaning. And this is one of the techniques that I teach during our NLP programs, and it's surprisingly quick. I mean, literally 5 minutes. The mystery, though, is from where thoughts come from. You know, even a simple decision to make a cup of tea or take a shower could be the result of a thought that suddenly appeared to you as you were reading a book or finishing a telephone call, at work, driving, walking, in fact, at any moment of any day. So let's say you're driving along, heading for the office, and out of nowhere, a new thought just comes to mind, like, what shall I buy Jan for her birthday? It's not related to your journey, and it's not related to the day ahead. The thought just appeared. So where did it come from? Well, the thoughts you have are a result of what you sense and receive. The energy giving rise to the thoughts can come from a whole myriad of different sources, including what you watch on television, what you read in a magazine or newspaper, as well as often what you talk about on a regular basis with friends. And actually the media thrives on negativity. And these days, social media also has a huge impact on your thoughts. Now, if you watch a particular television series for a few weeks, it's surprising to notice that you actually end up dreaming about the characters, talking about the series with your friends in often heated discussions. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot of debate on where thoughts actually come from. Indian philosopher, guru and poet Sri Aurobindo, he said that all thoughts come from the universal mind, and that our mind is not an instrument, but simply an organizer of knowledge. We accept a certain range of ideas based on our affinity, and that which we call ourself is just an amalgam of thoughts that have been trapped and keep circulating. So in other words, I like this, I hate that, I'm this kind of person. And he said that we may receive and express the same thought or idea differently due to variations in individual mental consciousness. And also, inspiration slips in when the mind falls silent, not when the mind is making an effort, as is commonly believed. You know, it's estimated that the average thought only lasts 6 to 10 seconds. But what I know is that when I'm bothered or upset by something or someone, you know, it's like pushing the repeat button on a music track or movie. I run the experience and the same thought in my mind over and over and over again. And I suspect you may do the same. Now, be honest, if you go to a movie and it's not very good, would you go and see that movie again and again and again and again? Of course not. Yet that's precisely what you do with your thoughts by running the same thoughts on repeat. Now, thankfully, you do exert some power over your thoughts by directing your attention, you know, like a torch, to focus on something specific. Now, when you have a thought, your brain cells communicate with one another via a process called neuronal firing. When brain cells communicate frequently, the connection between them strengthens and it creates a pathway. And this enables faster transmission. So what this means is that if you practice hitting a tennis ball or a golf ball enough times, it becomes automatic and your neurons wire and fire together. What that means is that our patterns in thinking literally become embedded in the network of brain cells, and each time you repeat a particular thought, the connection between those cells becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Now that's brilliant, all good and well if you're running a pattern of positive thinking. But if you're continually sidetracked by poor habits and pessimistic thoughts, then what happens is you get stuck in a loop. So maybe that explains why some people find it so difficult to change. The more the negative thought loops run, the stronger the neural pathways become, and the more difficult it becomes to stop them. I don't know whether you remember the old vinyl records that you used to get. They used to sometimes get stuck in a groove and end up playing the same 4 notes over and over again until you sort of nudged it along. And maybe you've heard the saying, you know, stuck in a rut. Now you know the reason it's so true. So let's nudge you along. It was once believed that the human brain had a relatively small window of opportunity to develop new pathways in a lifespan. And after that, the pathways just became carved in stone, so to speak. Now, it's probably a reason you may have heard older people say, oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or I'm too old to change. Well, the field of neuroplasticity is opening up to new possibilities on how learning really takes place, with the good news being that you can indeed teach an old dog new tricks. So if neurons that wire together fire together, what that means is that neurons that fire apart wire apart. And what this means to you is that it is possible to change and that if you want to learn a new skill or even a new way of being, a new neural pathway is created the more you practice. Now, studies have been performed on plasticity during meditation, and they've shown that the brain can change based purely on mental training. Now, this, of course, has huge implications for mental practice and its impact on overall well-being. To highlight the mental aspect, Australian psychologist Alan Richardson, he ran an experiment with a group of basketball players, dividing them into 3 groups. The first group would practice for about 20 minutes every day. The second group would only visualize themselves making free throws, but no real practice was allowed. And the third group were not allowed to practice or visualize. Well, the results were astounding. There was significant improvement from the group that only visualized. They were almost as good as the guys who actually practiced. Now, imagine the implications on all areas of your life when you set aside time to mentally visualize and rehearse maybe a new skill or a new pattern, a new belief, a new behavior. The other year, I met an interesting scientist in Mexico. She'd actually been in hospital for several months just prior to our meeting, and I was surprised because her arms were really toned with, the muscles well defined, as if she'd been working out at the gym on a regular basis. Well, she told me that, in a way, she had been going to the gym and working out every day, except the gym that she was using was a very special gym. The gym was in her mind. That's certainly food for thought if you dislike the gym or can't always get a workout in. Now, you can actually do a mental workout while you lie back on the sofa. How cool is that? So, neuroplasticity is what makes personal growth and development possible, and it refers to the brain's ability to restructure itself after training and practice. John Hagelin, PhD, Professor of Physics and Director of the Institute of Science Technology and Public Policy at Maharishi University, he says it's important to recognize that our body is really the product of our thoughts, and we're beginning to understand in medical science the degree to which the nature of our thoughts and emotions actually determine the physical substance and structure and functions of our bodies. Now, on the video screen, you're going to see a link for you to download a number of visualizations and inductions that are going to help you to do things like boost your self-esteem or build your confidence, create abundance, or simply relax. So enjoy.